Hey folks, Eziel here. Hope everybody had a great time during the closed beta 4 with Terra this last weekend. Unfortunately, my experience was a little bit less than pleasant as I had some major computer problems and don't have very much video to actually do commentary on. But I've got some friends that are going to send me some, and I should have a new rig here, hopefully Wednesday or Friday, to be able to start doing some more recordings and commentary, and then for the next closed beta, be able to do some more actual frapsing. So my guild here, Gravoria Manat, actually did a 3v3 closed beta tournament with about 8 teams. We had about 24 people actually participate. Probably about 35 actually showed up and watched. We were kind of up outside of Velikia near that cathedral, the little Colosseum looking area. My team actually consisted with Edge. He's a very good geared archer, very good as far as with his accuracy and attacking folks. He was actually critting for about 7 to 8,000 at some point, and getting 2 or 3 of those off on a priest or a mystic was rather pleasant to see that happen. I had Sin, the priest here. She did a wonderful job healing everybody during the exchange, and actually, was having to deal with 2 people on at the same time. We had some pretty cool things go on. Unfortunately, I didn't want to framps during that because of the computer problems, and but we actually, out of the 8 teams, ended up being second. So we lost to a group that was a warrior, priest, and slayer. They were very, very aggressive and mostly on top of our priest here. So, anyways, just wanted to kind of go over a couple things here, talk about some things I learned. I did some dueling just to kind of show some things. It wasn't really a true duel. It was more or less doing some testing with a warrior, priest, and an archer. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. And of course, as always, if you have any questions, go ahead and send those my way on the forum or right here on the YouTube channel. Alright, so we've got my friend Meloff. He's actually a warrior. Got this nice little neon green thing going on, blending in with the grass. He actually was doing some testing with some charms. He glyphed out one of his abilities, which had like a 15% increase in attack speed. And he actually got a charm that increased it even more. So he was trying to see kind of how much more difficult it is, or how much more efficient he was as far as his damaging, which was pretty phenomenal while we were doing this testing. But I was doing some recording here. You kind of saw me do some chaining here and to run around, do some shield barraging. As far as with being a lancer, the leash I found to be kind of not as really good. When I got it off, it was great. I actually had it glyphed out to where I was doing about 21 meters out, and then additionally had the cooldown to where it was 20% less. So, as far as with the glyphing, I think I had that perfect. You saw me just miss with that chain. And, it just really wasn't as effective as I thought it was going to be in doing this. I was going to try to pull the priest in, and we were all going to gang bang and get on top of him. But unfortunately, it just didn't work out that way, because if somebody would get in front of me, or, I happened to miss, or they just got out of range, or they teleported, it was rather difficult. Now, with Meloff here, he's jumping around, just kind of doing some attacks. I'm doing some basic attacks. I did a full screen here, so I was running out of mana. I didn't even realize it. So I had to do a couple things to regain some of that. Probably your bread and butter as far as being a lancer is going to be your shield barrage, and follow up with a spring attack. Those generally are going to be, you make up ground with that. You kind of get a little bit faster than you would regularly move forward. Additionally, you want to make up some ground, bust out with your lunge. One thing I found out with the lunge is that I could then throw my menacing wave up, which gave a little bit of slowness there. Now right here we've got Edge. We were actually just kind of doing some play around, see how we missed with the actual leash. And then he comes over with his bow. I've got my block up, and he completely misses. So really good. You see that charge going up, throw your block up, do as best you can. Now, one of the things we tested that I thought was really cool is that I noticed that he kind of came around behind me or on my side and did some damage while I had my shield up. So we started talking, and so I was asking, I was like, hey, I think you're doing some damage while I've got my shield up. You're doing it from behind or something. So we actually did, I think, 2 rounds of dueling. First round was just kind of to keep up. Now right there, see, he came around the back and hit me. That's when I kind of noticed that he was doing that. And then, of course, he comes up, boom, 3,700 damage. He was just doing tremendous amounts of work on me. There goes that shield barrage with the follow-up spring attack. Shield bash, you know what? I don't know if it was me or my computer or what, or the lag, but it really seemed that I just could not hit with that to save my life. Now, He's got me really close to being dead. One of the things about being a Lancer is you've got a lot of health. You're really good as far as your survivability. So it's really interesting to see. Now we're about to do our second round here of dueling, which I'm going to try to see if I can't point out here when he does his testing here. So we get started and immediate leash, boom, and then I tried to go to the shield bash, and for some reason it didn't even land. So I was having tremendous amounts of problem with that throughout the entire night. So, but I did lunge at him and then follow with the shield barrage, and also as I think right here tested off the side, he got right at that 180-degree angle there. Now front side, you see him kind of scooting over a little bit, scoot, 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 scoot. He was doing these attacks while he was moving it over slightly, and then right there, just as he gets at the 359-degree mark, he finally gets those hits on. So we we're kind of talking about that, seeing that was exactly what he was looking for. So one of the things to be aware of, this not only goes with the frontal attacks, does not only go with the side attacks, it also goes with any kind of distance as far as from like the priest or the mystics. A lot of times when you're dueling and you've got one of those on the other side, they're going to try to sleep you as far as, a lancer. You can block those attacks. I'm going to show you down here a little bit later how you can tell. Now, see, and he just happened to get away with that shield after my shield bash, and then he does his little stun and goes to town with me on behind. Now, see that block right there? One of the things I want you to know is when you were stunned as a Lancer, one thing I found out that helped out so much is hold down that block button and then just pound the forward key, or just keep tapping the forward key. If you keep tapping the block button, what ends up happening is you'll get a block up and then it'll go down and you have that 1 second window, and it really just is not efficient. So hold the block button down and then go tapping forward. So here's my friend Sin, who's a priest. She actually does a wonderful job as far as with those bursts where she jumps out of the way. And so as far as with a Lancer, I mean, it's really difficult to keep up with her. One of the things is you got that menacing wave, which can slow her down just a tad. And I actually get off a really good amount of chains here off on her, like right here. She starts running away, pull her in. But then she's not stunned for that little second. But I did get her stunned with the shield bash. Got in, did some onslaught damaging. Now, what you see here, warning Sin locked the skill on you. That when you see that, immediately throw up your shield. Now the mystics and priests can actually hold on to that ability for just a little bit. So, if you see that they're trying to run around and get behind you, then try to reposition and aim forward to them. Get your camera angle toward them, and then release your block button, and then push the block button back immediately. That will get you into facing their direction and get you to stop that. Now, continue to leash her. Oh, there's no mana, so I just go into pounding her. A lot of times with the dueling with priests and lancers, you're going to run into probably maybe some potential problems with the fact they can self-heal so efficiently. There she goes again with the lock on me, and I was able to block that from her. So let's see, and some more attacks here, some shield barraging, some forward lunging, or some spring attacks. But overall, the PvP experience I had was very good as far as with the tournament. Had a lot of really good things going on. We did some strategizing. We had a sorceress, priest, and an archer that were on a team, I believe. And what was interesting was instead of going for the mystic, it was not priest, it was a mystic. We actually went for the sorcerer, which him being a cloth, we were able to gang up on him. And then the next round, because it was a best out of 3, we faked the sorcerer one hit and then went for the priest or the mystic, and then the final round just went straight up for the mystic. So there's a bunch of things you can do strategizing, and I hope you all found this very educational. And if you guys have any questions, hit me up. Take it easy.